my name is Erica, and today I'm going to show you how you can put a quartz point into a pendant or necklace. So I have some quartz here. It's like a smoky quartz, and it has sand inclusions in it, and it's really pretty. And then I also have a clear one. So I'm going to start by measuring. Okay, so the longer of a point that you have, the more decorations you can put on it. So I'm going to use this one with the sand inclusions. So you're going to start with 4 20 gauge base wires. Now you can weave each set together separately, or you could well, you could use 2 wires instead of 4, but I want to use 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up. First, you need to straighten your wires. Oops. Just straighten them the best that you can. And then you want to find the center, or what is closest to the center of your wire. And I'm using a chalk pencil. It's just a chalkboard pencil, literally chalk. This way it doesn't rub off too bad on my fingers while I'm teaching you guys. And I want it, I'm going to center my piece of quartz on here. And then I want to mark each side as close to the piece of quartz as I can, because this is where you're going to begin to bend at. Now, let me flip this to where it's got my markings. Now mine has like a little floater right here, so that's good. And it has 6 sides. So I'm gonna bend this in here, and then here. Now you can do this 1 wire at a time and then add these in, but I wanted to get the bend in first, so that way I can tell right about where I need to be with continuing to bend. So I'm going to go right here where this side is with my tweezer nose pliers and bring this up. And I want to hold it Did it move? So it has 6 sides, and I need to bend right here. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the other side. I'm going to use my chalk pencil to mark on my stone right where I bent at, and which sides have a matching wire. That way I don't do the same side twice, because with crystals they don't have matching sides. You know. So I'm going to bend it around this side and this side. Make sure that it's level with your mark. And bend each side up. So I want these pointing straight up and down with this. And they need to be as close to your crystal that you can get them. So I'm just making sure that everything's nice and even. Right. Okay. So I'm going to start with this side. Now, if you want to add your other wires in, now would be a good time to do that. But if you just want 2 wires, then you don't have to do any adding. And that's what I'm going to do. That way that this tutorial is a bit easy to follow. A little bit less complicated. Because we need like a semi-beginner level right now. So I'm going to bring my wire in so that the tail end of my wire is up against the stone and not facing out. So I'm going to go around 1, 2, 3 times. Push this together. Now, if you're a beginner, you can use your favorite 2-wire weave. And I will do the same. So I'm going to use one of my favorite 2-wire weaves. And I just want to start this weave. and then I'll show you the pattern, and I'm going to weave, and then I will show you about how far. Okay, so I just went under both wires, go in between the two wires, right back around this first wire, under, and back in between both wires. Now come around both wires 1, 2 times, come back up between the two wires, under the two wires, back in between the two wires, and then go back in between and back in between. And then go over once, over both wires one time. It's a full rotation. Actually, it's 2, but it's a full rotation because we've done 2 over both wires and then 1 over both wires. And so that is the pattern that I'm going to do all the way up. Now you need to push your weave all the way down to where you bent your wires there at. So that's what I'm going to do. And you need to periodically check or just bring your wire over your stone there, and then mark right about how far you need to weave. So I'm going to do that over here. I'm just going to mark right here because that's where I'm going to stop. And then don't work ahead and do this side. Just hang on, and I'll be right back, and then we'll have this done. Okay, so I've gotten this side woven, and now I'm going to cut it flush and tuck it in, and it's going to be tucked in up against the back of the up against the stone there. So I'm just going to make sure everything is lined up here correctly, and it is. And I'm going to bring my stone up in, my quartz, and bring it down to the mark we made. I'm just checking to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. And this side's bent just a little, so I need to take it out and hold both sides of my wire here. Bend it down. So this way it fits right. Because these need to be snug up against each other in order for it to fit right. Now this part can be a tad bit tricky line it up with a mark here. And I'm going to anchor my wire off. Now you're going to have to do this while holding the tail end of your wire down here with your base wires, and just wrap 3 times or 2 times, however many times you like. Go ahead and trim your base wire or your weaving wire while you can get to it. Tuck it. And just bring it. And make sure that your wires are touching one another. Under. Now this first one is really important because it's what's going to hold this together for you to weave it. And it needs to be as tight as you can make it. So you're going to do the same stitch or the same pattern that you done on the other side. Just keep pushing everything down. Make sure that it fits tight, nice and snug. And make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to weave up to this point. Okay, so I got up to even weave points on here. And now I'm going to trim this side and cut my weaving wire. Now, if you do this with 4 wires, then you'll need to layer them on top one another and then weave across. There will be a separate tutorial for that, or a short. Now, I'm just going to make sure that these are evenly placed before I go any further, and make sure that they are as snug against my stone as I can get them. I don't want it moving around too much. So now would be a good point to decide where you'd like your bail to be. Mine's point is facing to like either the left or the right, but this side has more faces on it, so I'm going to make my bail back here. So what you're going to do to make your bail is begin to bring your wire in and up. Now I need to push this weave down first. Okay. So I'm going to bring this wire across my stone, and this one too. And make sure they're very, very snug against your stone. If they're not snug, you need to squeeze your stone and then bend. And up. Now you can make your bail to where it's straight against each other. If you do fishtail bail, you need to make sure that you get these wires that are closest to your quartz. You need to make sure you get those tight. So I'm going to start with anchoring off. I'm going to anchor off facing out. And then trim the tail end and tuck. So I've woven about 1 inch of bail here, and I wrapped on one side twice. I'm just going to trim close to the inside of the base wire and trim my weaving wire there. I'm going to bring these out and bring this forward. Now you can use anything that's round for this part. I'm going to use my bail making pliers. You just want to bend your bail in onto itself here. And you can bring these wires across your bail. Like bring them across to either side. Basically, all you will do is grab your wires that we crisscrossed, and then you bring this side around and then through your bail, up and around and through your bail, and then back around and then back through the bail, down, and then the shortest one gets put into a curl. The longest one I wrap through the frame. So I just brought it through the bail for the second time and then right straight through this. There's like a little gap right here that's naturally formed in the stone. There's a little gap that's naturally formed in the stone, and if you have any of those little gaps, then just put your wire through there. It will help. Bring it back through and then underneath the shortest one that we looped off, and then you bring it all the way around, back through, and then up through this middle right here, and then bring it into a curl and clamp it off, and then this side is done. And then this side, you just take the two wires and then bring them around and then back down into an S shape. You bring both wires back through wherever there is a natural crevice in the side of your stone. Mine was here. And then you'll bring those back in. The shortest one you'll trim and then make it into like a little curl there. I made mine into an E. And then the other one, you just bring it around and trim it and then tuck it. And then your quartz piece is set into a necklace. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to. If you guys would like to see the one with 4 wires done, just let me know in the comments if you'd like to.